with other people, your own happiness, your success in life, your success in your career, or even the size of your bank account, to a very large extent, is dependent on how much you have invested into your personal development. And that is a fact, and that is the truth. What it means is that the quality of your relationships with other people, your own source of happiness and joy, your success in work or school, or even your financial status as at now, has a lot to do with how much you have invested into your personal development. You need to have that at the back of your mind. The other thing I want to draw your attention to is the fact that personal development is the pivotal part of an individual's growth and progress. Every individual or young person desires to see progress and desires to grow. But until you harness the power of personal development, it will be very difficult for you to grow. It will be very difficult for you to make progress. So you need to understand that indeed personal development is key. It is important to your growth. It is important to your progress. The other thing I need to also say is that there's been a lot of talk about personal development. Almost everywhere you turn, you hear people talking about personal development or making reference to personal development. But just to have this understanding at the back of our mind, personal development is a way you invest in yourself that prepares you to be able to face every other thing that comes your way. In other words, when you invest into personal development, what it is that you are preparing yourself to be able to manage effectively whatever circumstances or situations that come your way. That is the power and the essence of personal development. And also, you need to understand that for you to have personal fulfillment in life, you need to be able to invest heavily into personal development. Very important. Now, having explained or having been able to make this very important points, I'll move straight into how we can define personal development. I know there's a book-long definition or there's an academic definition for personal development, but I want us to look at the very practical approach to understanding personal development. Because if you don't understand what personal development is, it's very difficult for you to draw up your 2021 personal development goals. So personal development, in my opinion, refers to a series of activities and actions that is aimed at, number one, improving your awareness and your identity. Improving your awareness and your identity. So personal development involves all the activities and the actions that you take that is aimed at helping you to be able to understand yourself better, helping you to be able to have a keen sense of self-awareness and understanding your identity, because that's a bedrock for progress and for growth. If you don't understand yourself, if you're not aware of who you are, what you have, your skills, your potentials, and attitudes and talents and all that, it will be very difficult to make significant progress. So you need to understand that personal development refers to all the series of activities and actions that you engage yourself in with the intention of improving, number one, your awareness and your identity. Number two, developing your talents and your potential. Very important. I believe that everybody has a certain level of talent and a certain level of potential. What will make you stand out, or what will make you successful, or what will make you different is your ability to develop your talents and to be able to develop your potential. So personal development encompasses all that you do with the aim of developing your talents and developing your potentials. The third thing is that personal development also helps you to be able to develop yourself in a way that makes you employable. In other words, personal development refers to all the activities and the actions that you engage in, including schooling and getting certification and getting formal education and training, which is aimed at facilitating your employability. Very important. In the 21st century, people that have developed themselves, people that have added value to their raw talents and skills that they have, these are the people that are highly employable. In the era of coronavirus and the impact of COVID-19, a lot of people were laid off. And I'm convinced that for most people that were affected, this is an opportunity for them to relook again at the value of personal development. Because if you're in the same office and you have the same certificate and the same degree, then when it comes to eliminating people or laying people off, what is it that will make us keep you? What is it about you that is beyond your certificate or beyond the college degree that you have? It is your personal development that will come in to save you. So personal development also is critical in helping you stay employable. And the last thing under this particular definition is that For you to be able to realize your dreams and your aspirations, you should be able to invest heavily into personal development. In other words, all the activities and the actions you engage yourself in and you put yourself in with the intention of becoming a better person, what it does to you ultimately is that it helps you to be able to enhance your quality of life and drives you towards the realization of your dreams and your aspirations. So there are about some 2 or 3 benefits of personal development that I just want to speak about, and then we can go into how we can plan for 2021 with our personal development goals in mind. The first thing personal development will do for you if you invest heavily into it is that it will help you to be able to develop a very high sense of awareness. Very critical. You should know yourself to be able to make the right decisions and to be able to make the right choices, not just related to your career or business, but to every other aspect of your life. You need to be able to know yourself well to be able to take the right decision and make the right choices. So when you invest heavily into personal development, what you are doing is that you are getting to know yourself better. You are getting to understand who you are. You are getting to understand what your values are, what your beliefs are, what are the things you stand for, what your skills are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what you can do to improve your strengths, and what you can do to eliminate your weaknesses. So what happens is that once you are investing heavily into personal development, you are developing that high sense of self-awareness, which is a critical tool in helping you to make progress and helping you to be able to make advancement. The other thing too is that for you to be able to chase your aspirations and your goals effectively, you need to be able to understand yourself. At the end of the day, it is your dream, it is your aspiration, it is your goal. It is not about other people, it's about you. And for you to be able to have that kind of happiness that will drive you towards achieving your dreams and your goals, you need to invest heavily into personal development. The second thing that personal development will do for you is that it will help you to get a clearer direction as to where you are supposed to go. A lot of young people lack clarity when it comes to direction. People are doing anything anyhow. If they find people going into this particular direction, everybody decides to follow into that direction. If we find people investing in this particular area without any due diligence, we just also go into that area because we are not investing heavily into developing ourselves. What happens is that when you invest into personal development, you are giving yourself a very clear sense of direction as to what you ought to do in order to maximize the potentials and the talents you have, and how you can bring value to yourself and to your life. Very important. So the second thing is that once you invest heavily into personal development, it gives you a clearer direction. You know what it is you are about, you know what it is you have to do, and you're able to go for gold right from the word go. The other thing too is that when you invest heavily into developing yourself, what you are doing for yourself is that you are improving your level of productivity. You are improving your output. Because what it is that when you invest into personal development, you are sharpening the skills that you have. You are improving the gifts you have. You are improving the knowledge you have. You are on a daily basis adding value to what it is that you have. And even from the normal, day-to-day activities, when you meet any person who has added value to himself or herself, the person is more effective at what he or she does. The person is able to bring more results to the table because the person has refined himself or herself. So the third thing that comes to you when you invest into personal development is that you improve your focus and you improve your effectiveness. You improve your productivity levels. You are able to, by virtue of adding value to yourself, you are able to do better the things that you do. So it is important, whether you are a singer, you are a footballer, whatever it is you are doing, once you are investing heavily into improving yourself and making yourself better, you are becoming more productive. The more productive you are, the more you're earning power. So if, for example, it takes you 2 hours to cut down a tree, but you improve yourself, you learn how to sharpen your blade or your cutlass or your axe or whatever it is you are using to cut down the tree. What it is that you increase your effectiveness. Once you increase your effectiveness, in a space of about an hour, you're able to do 2 or 3 trees that brings you more income. In other words, the more you invest into personal development, the more you add value to yourself, the more you grow yourself. What it is that you are increasing your productivity and you are increasing your earning power. That is very important, and you have that at the back of your mind. That is why even when you get normal gold on the floor or find it in the mines, if it has not been refined, the value is different. But once gold is refined, once diamond is refined, the value obviously shoots up. That is why you can get a bean of cocoa at a very cheap price, but when it is refined into chocolate, then it comes at a more expensive price. In the same way, as you invest into yourself, as you improve yourself, as you become better at the things that you do, what it is that you are increasing ultimately your value. And that's also very important. The other thing I would like to speak about is the fact that for you to stay motivated, you need to be able to invest a lot into your own personal development. Because you see, most of the time we rely on people and others and systems to help us to develop ourselves. But it is you and yourself, and that is it. Gone are the days where if you work for an organization, you entrust all your hope and all your aspirations into your human resource director, because your thinking is that the HR is thinking about me and therefore will put in place some training measures for me, will tell me the opportunities where I can grow and develop and add value to myself and all that. But I have come to realize by virtue of experience that you need to be able to invest in yourself. And if you invest in yourself, what it is that you are motivating yourself all the time. So irrespective of the circumstances or the situations or the environments you find yourself in, you are always productive. You are always inspired to do more and do better because you have spent a lot of time with yourself and you have increased your level of productivity and by extension, your personal value. So these are some of the very important benefits that comes to you when we talk about personal development. And I want you to have that at the back of your mind to be able to drive you to prepare adequately for 2021 and set in place your personal development goals. Now, having done that introduction or that background, I want us to look at the areas you should focus on in 2021 with regards to your personal development goals. The first thing I'll talk about is that you need to pay attention to your career and your work life. You need to pay attention to your career and your work life. I am assuming that almost 80% of us here are people that are actually working or people that have started our careers, or one way or the other, we are engaged in something that is helping us to carve out our career and to be able to work. I need you to understand that you need to pay attention to your career and your work life in 2021. And if you are setting your personal development goals, one of the benchmarks you need to keep an eye on is your career and your work life. Now, let me put it two ways. In career and work life, it's either you are employed or you are unemployed. If you are employed, you can be working for an organization, you can be working for yourself, you can be an entrepreneur, that is fine. But if you are unemployed, it means that you're not working for yourself, you're not an entrepreneur, and you're not working for any organization, for anybody. So these are the two main categorizations when it comes to issues of employability. Self-employed or working for an organization, that is fine. And then when you don't even have a job, that's another thing you need to pay attention to. So let's first spend some time on how you can set some goals for yourself when you are not employed, when you don't have a job, when you don't have anything going for you. There are three key things that will help you to get a job, especially in this part of our world. Three very important things. Number one, your CV. Number two, your interview skills. And number three, your job search techniques. With my interaction with a lot of young people and a lot of unemployed people, what I realize is that they have a deficiency in these three main areas. One, people have gone to school, people have very good degrees, and people have very good qualifications. But the key question is that how do you put together these qualifications to be able to earn you a job? How do you capture all that in a CV form? That's the first thing you need to pay attention to if you're unemployed. What can I do to improve my CV? As you set your personal development goals with regards to your career, if you are unemployed, one of the key things you need to pay attention to is how to get a good CV, how to develop a good CV, how to put together a good CV that captures the highlights of your background, of your training, of your exposure, and of your experience. And that is one key thing that is keeping a lot of people from employment, because the person may be talented, the person may be gifted, but the person doesn't even know how to put together a winning CV, the kind of CV that will get the attention of your prospective employer. So if you're unemployed, as you go into 2021, one of the things you need to really pay attention to is your CV. It is very sad sometimes as an employer to receive CVs from candidates who don't even know what they are about, in the sense that even in their CVs, there are a lot of spelling mistakes, there are a lot of errors. The way the thing has been arranged is not in any order. It is just haphazard and all over the place. Yet still, this is a person that wants to get a job. You need to understand that if you're unemployed, one of the key goals you should pay attention to is how to improve your CV. The other thing too is about interviewing skills. A lot of people don't get a job because when they get even into the interview room, assuming somebody does your CV for you and it gives you entry into an interview room or into an interview session, if you don't possess the correct interviewing skills, you will not land that job. So if you're unemployed, or if you're unemployed, one of the things you need to pay attention to is how to improve your interviewing skills. I have met a lot of candidates at interview sessions that are very jittery, that lack confidence, who are unable to articulate, who are unable to express themselves. You ask them very simple, basic questions, and they are not able to put their thoughts together under pressure to be able to answer those questions. But you need to understand that for you to get a good job, for you to get a foot into the employment industry or into the employment sector, you need to be able to have excellent interviewing skills. You should be able to answer the questions you are asked when you go into the interviews. So a simple question like, how much do you want us to pay you? That's another area a lot of young people, fumble and make a lot of mistakes. But I'm convinced that as we go into 2021, if you should pay attention to improving your interviewing skills, there's a lot of probability that you will earn yourself a job. The third thing under the unemployed discussion is the fact that you need to improve your job search techniques. A lot of people don't even know how to search for jobs. And because they don't even know how to search for jobs, they remain unemployed. And we need to understand that you can't stay in your home and think that you're going to get employment. You need to find a job. You need to search for the job. You need to find a job that fits your skill, that fits your experience, and that fits your expertise. And then you can apply for that job. And then one thing leads to another, and eventually you get your job. So it's important to improve your job search techniques. Almost about 70% of the jobs I got in my career, I got those jobs online. I didn't know anybody in those offices. I didn't have any relationship with anybody in those offices. It was not by referral or recommendation. It was by searching online that I found those opportunities, applied for those opportunities. And because I was able to develop a good CV and develop my communication skills, my interviewing skills, when I went into the interview room, I was able to give a good impression of myself. And therefore, I was able to get the job or get those jobs that I had applied for. So what I'm driving at is that beyond having a good CV and having a good interviewing skills, you need to also be able to know how to search for a job, how to look for the right job for yourself. These are things that you can learn. These are things that you can master. These are things that if you focus on, you can actually do to make yourself a better positioned person to get a job. Now, let's spend time on those who are already employed. Assuming you're already employed, you have done your national service and you have a job, you are gainfully employed, you are happy. There are certain goals you need to aspire for that will help you to be able to rise the corporate ladder. You may have entered as a basic accountant. You may have entered as a first level entry person in that organization. But over time, your ambition should be to rise from the lowest rank of the ladder and climb up to the very top. Your aspiration should be to be able to rise up into management and to leadership where you can exert more influence. And of course, the more influence you exert, the more responsibilities you have, the more your earning power or the more you earn. So it's important for you to have that at the back of your mind. Don't be satisfied because you have a job. You should work hard on improving yourself, adding value to yourself, investing in personal development to the point where you can rise up that ladder and rise up into influence and into leadership. How do you do that? One of the things you need to keep your eye on is improving your productivity. If you are employed and you are not productive at your workplace, over time, it will compound and it will get to a point where during your appraisal sessions, it will come up that, well, we employed you because we wanted you to do A, B, and C. But over the period of time, we realized that you're unable to achieve the targets. You're unable to really be productive with the space and the time and the resources we have allocated to you. So what happens is that you may lose your job as a result of that. In the worst case scenarios, when you lose your job, but where you don't even lose your job, you would still stay at that same rank over years. So you may have 10 years of experience, but nothing significantly added to your life because your productivity is suspect. So if you are gainfully employed, one of the key personal development goals you should have in 2021 is look at how you can improve your productivity. If it takes you 2 hours to write a report, in 2021, how can you write your report quicker, faster, and better? If it takes you like almost a month to be able to achieve a particular target set for you at work, how can you improve your productivity to the point where it will take lesser time to be able to achieve more? These are things that should drive your thinking as you enter into 2021. How do I improve my productivity? The second question you need to ask yourself, if you are employed, as you develop your personal development goals for 2021, ask yourself, how do I improve my skills? How do I improve my competencies? How do I improve my skills? How do I improve my competencies? All right. So assuming you are just a receptionist in an organization, you take calls, you respond to queries from visitors and from clients. The key question is that how do you improve, for example, your telephone conversation skills? How do you improve even your report writing skills? How do you improve your customer service competencies such that irrespective of the customer that engages with you, you are able to achieve your results, you're able to make a significant and a positive impact on that client or on that particular person? You need to look at ways you can improve your skills. Don't be content with where you find yourself. Don't be happy just because you are employed. Look for ways of improving your skills. How do you sharpen your skills? If you're a salesperson and then it takes you almost like 2 months to convince just a single person to buy something, how do you improve your sales skills? How do you improve your sales speech? All right. So you should always constantly ask yourself, this thing that I'm doing, this work that I've been involved in, how do I improve my core skills and my core competencies? Very, very important. And the third thing under that sector you need to pay attention to if you're already employed is, how do I improve the network that I have? So it is not just about you. Sometimes to progress the corporate ladder, it's not just by virtue of what you have or what you know, but also by virtue of the people you know, by virtue of the people within your network. There are people who don't have any form of a network whatsoever. All they are concerned about is that I'm employed, I go to work, I do my work, I close at 5 and I go home. But you see, to be able to rise up management, to be able to rise up the ladder, you need to have at the back of your mind that you need to invest in having the right network. You need to be able to have a network of like-minded people, a network of influencers, a network of people that can bring value to you. Who are your people within your network? Who are the people within your network? These are key questions you need to be asking yourself if you are determined to rise up the corporate ladder. Now, let's move on to the third area you need to pay attention to, which is your relationship with others. Very important. You need to pay attention to your relationship with others. You are not an island. You were born into people, you grew up in people, went to school with people, and you work with people, and you live with people. You should always have it as a key focus to improve your relationship with other people. How do you improve your relationship with other people? You need to keep your eye on improving your emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is very, very important. Unfortunately, in our schools and our trainings, we hardly pay a lot of emphasis or pay attention to emotional intelligence. You need to understand your own emotion first to be able to manage and control your emotions. Then you need to also be able to understand the emotions of other people and how their emotions affect what it is that they do. Then you can master the art of managing the emotions of others as well, so that at the end of the day, you can achieve your goals, you can achieve your targets. Very important. You need to improve your emotional intelligence. You need to be able to understand your own emotions. You need to understand when you are sad, how you can control that emotion. When you are angered, how do you control that anger? I know a lot of people that have lost out opportunities because they are unable to control their anger. The moment they get angry, they spark like a generator, and they can just go about insulting people, even people capable of giving them promotion or bringing them business. Because of the emotion of anger, they are unable to handle it. A lot of people have been entangled, a lot of entanglement in the corporate world as a result of people being unable to control their emotions. You see this person, you are attracted to the person, but bear in mind that you are in the office to achieve a particular objective, which is to become a better person, to achieve your targets and to rise. So if you get emotionally entangled with some people you're not supposed to be emotionally entangled with, what it is that it will come back to bite you. So pay attention to your emotional intelligence in 2021. Look at ways you can improve your emotional intelligence. The other thing under the relationship with other people you need to focus on in developing or setting your 2021 personal development goals is how to improve your work-life balance. Very important. You see, we have gotten to a stage in our world where people pride themselves in the fact that, oh, I'm a workaholic. All I do is I work, and I work. And when that happens, what it is that it is to the detriment of your life balance. In other words, it is to the detriment of the people who love you and the people that you love. Because if you are so much intoxicated with work that you don't make time for yourself, you don't make time for the loved ones around you, you don't make time to get to spend with the people you love and the people around you, it is a problem. So as you enter to 2021, one of your personal development goals with regards to your relationship with other people is how you can balance your work and your life schedule. Or if you're a student, how do you balance your work and your school schedule such that at the end of the day, you'll have some peace of mind? Because what it is that if you don't balance your work and your life, what happens is that you are emotionally stressed all the time. You are always under emotional tension. You are always under duress. You are always under pressure. You should be able to manage your work-life balance such that it will give you that peace of mind, that psychological peace of mind that will drive you to be able to achieve more and to be able to do more. So that is very, very important. The last area that I will encourage you to focus on as you develop your 2021 personal development goals is your health. Your health. Don't throw your health away at the detriment of becoming a better worker, becoming a better employee, or becoming a better entrepreneur, or becoming a better student. If not anything, the year 2020 has taught us to value health. The impact of COVID-19 and the way people have lost their lives and their livelihood as a result of the COVID-19 has drawn our attention to the fact that we need to also pay attention to our health. So as part of drawing up your 2021 personal development goals, one of the things you need to pay attention to is your health. How do you improve your health? What do you do to remain healthy and strong? Your eating habits is something that sometimes we take for granted. People go to work, and because of the stress of work, they don't even eat throughout the whole day. And then at the end of the day, they just binge or eat something heavy and go to bed. When you do that over a period of time, your health is affected. So pay attention to your eating habits. It's very important. You need to also pay attention to your exercise routines. You need to exercise more. You need to stay healthy. And I'm guilty. It is difficult to exercise all the time. But the point is that you should make a conscious effort in 2021 to focus on your exercise routines. Even if it's just 10 minutes of a brisk walk every day, if it's about 10 pull-up, sit-ups or 10 push-ups a day, you don't have to necessarily go to the gym. If you can just commit yourself 10 minutes every day to do a routine exercise, what it is that you are improving your health. And remember that no matter how gifted or talented or smart, if you don't have a healthy body, it cannot contain all these giftings and talents and skills that you have. So you need to pay attention to your exercise routine. And then also you need to pay attention to leisure, rest, sleep. In a bid to make up for the lost year 2020, a lot of people are thinking of going several hours and several days without sleep because they want to make up for the things they lost in 2020. I want you to understand your health is important. And one key determinant of your health is your sleeping habit, is your leisure routine, is your rest routine. You need to also spend some time and rest. Where you are tired, please shut the laptop, put off the computer, put off your phone, and get some rest. Very, very important. These are all part of your personal development goals. How to remain healthy, how to remain energetic and strong. It is dependent on how you take care of your health. You need to be able to make time for rest. You need to be able to make time for leisure. Don't think that, oh, you have lost a lot of time and the semester went too fast and work was shut down and we're working from home. We are now back to the office in 2021. So we have to go the extra mile and work and work and work and work at the detriment of your own health. You need to keep that at the back of your mind. So in summary, all I'm driving at is the fact that as you think about your personal development goals for 2021, three key areas, or four, if you should ask me, should be on top of the list. The first one is your career and your work life. And I've explained that under the career and work life, if you're unemployed, there are specific goals you should have. If you are employed, there are specific goals you should have. And I've gone about it, or I've spoken about it a bit, but maybe as a matter of recap, I can talk about it again. That, for example, if you are drawing your personal development goals for 2021 and you are unemployed, one of the things that should be top on your priority is how to improve your CV, how to improve your interview skills, and how to improve your job search techniques. At least let these three things drive your personal development goals in your career if you are unemployed. If you're already employed, you should be motivated by the fact that you want to rise higher and you need to rise up to become part of management or leadership in that organization you find yourself in. And in that context, when you're setting your personal development goals, you need to pay attention as to how you can improve your productivity, how you can improve your skills and your competencies, and how you can build the right network around you that would help you or push you into higher levels of management or leadership in your organization. And I spoke about how to also manage your relationships. It should be also on top of your list, on top of your priorities, how to improve your relationship with other people, how to master the art of emotional intelligence, how to improve your work-life balance. These things are critical in helping you get a peace of mind to be able to drive excellence and productivity. And then I spoke about your health, how and why you should devote a lot of attention to your health, to eat healthily, to get enough rest, to exercise regularly, and to be able to stay healthy. I am convinced that if you draw your personal development goals for 2021 around these four pivotal areas where the key issues I've raised in mind, you can develop that personal development goal that will drive your dreams, that will help you to be a fulfilled person, and that will help you to become a better person. So I'll end my presentation here and then hand over to the host. And then if you have any questions or any issues you want me to draw some more relevance to or bring some more clarity to, the floor is open. Let me know, and then we'll see how we can discuss that as well. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was a great one. This very great insight. So I'm going to launch a poll, then you fill in. To all the participants, I'm launching a poll now, then you just fill in before we take the questions and answers, then Elizabeth can come in. So I'm launching the poll now. So you see it on your screen, then fill it. Thank you so much. So the speaker is not included, just the participants. So whilst you are filling the questionnaire, kindly also write down your questions because Mr. John is ready to answer all your questions. So be ready to ask him all your questions that you've been wanting to know about your personal development goals for 2021. He's ready to answer everything. Okay, so whilst you are filling the poll, I'll just let Elizabeth come in so that we take some questions.
Okay, hi. Thank you so much, Mr. John Appiah, I personally learned a lot from it, and I'm hoping that everybody here did. So at this point, we will be open to your questions and we can provide you answers. So questions and answers. If there's anything you heard which you did not understand, or you get, or you want more information, or something you probably wished was mentioned and our speaker didn't mention, I'm sure he'll be glad to see. So the poll is open. The floor is open to your questions. Whilst I'll wait for it, I know always the person to ask the first question is always the most difficult part. So I'll take the lead and ask a question. So with the new normal being remote working, I personally like the part where you talked about maintaining work-life balance, creating a balance in the midst of everything. From your point of view, do you think looking forward, remote working would negatively affect work-life balance? So, like for me, when we went on the lockdown, where you have to work from home, I think for the first week, I was literally stressed out because I realized that it becomes a bit difficult drawing the line between when you are working and when you are being a family member. So, looking forward, do you think remote working would negatively affect work life balance? And if so, are there any tips you have to encourage um, the maintenance of work life balance, especially as young people yet to get married, yet to become the CEO of companies? What key skills can we start developing for the sake of work life balance?
That's a very brilliant question. Thank you very much for the question. Let me just share my thoughts on this one, and if anybody else has something to add to it, the person can also go ahead and then add to it. I think that because of the new normal, people working more from home and all that, it comes with a number of negatives and with a number of positives. If you look at the negative things or the negative aspect of it, one of the things that for me comes up tops is that when it comes to managing your relationships, it is another part that can be negatively affected. Because what it is that because you're working from home, you are joining a Skype conversation or a Zoom call, you are not actually interacting with people like you do when you're at work. So I think that if this thing goes on for a very long time, people will begin to have issues when it comes to relating to other people, getting along with other people, and so forth and so on. So let me give you a typical example. When you're on a Zoom call or you're on an, let's say, internet-based call, you can decide to mute certain people and block certain people more or less. So if, for example, you have a problem with me, you can just mute my mic or whatever it is. No matter what I say, it will never come to your attention. But the point I'm driving at is that one core part of personal development and growth is learning to work with people, learning to get along well with people. But if you work alone at home all the time for a very long period of time, then when it comes to building or developing that aspect of your life, which is learning how to get along with people, relating with people, and all that, it becomes problematic. Because I must admit, we missed when we used to work together without any problem. Where you go to work, a friend comes, a colleague comes to share a joke, and you all laugh at it. Somebody comes dressed in a particular way, and you all look at the person, and all these things are part of growing. It is part of developing your relationship. So I think that if we continue in this trajectory for a very long time, to get to a point, for a lack of a better expressions, we may become like robots and may not be able to connect easily with people again. The other area where I see a problem with is with the issue of the high cost of internet connectivity, especially in this part of our world. It is extremely expensive, buying data and staying online. So just imagine if your work doesn't give you any form of support and you have to use your own resources to buy internet on a regular basis over a long period of time, it becomes a stress on your finances. No two ways about it. Beyond that is the issue of even infrastructure. Sometimes you can have very poor internet connectivity. You may not be able to sustain a simple 1 hour Zoom conversation because of poor internet connectivity. And all that can add to your level of stress. I remember that over the past few weeks, I've been engaged in a number of virtual interviews, and some of the candidates come online and you can't even hear a word of what it is that they are saying. They are trying as much as possible, but because of poor internet connectivity, they were just unable to really make any impact. So what we had to do was to just cut them off the virtual call and then later call them on the phone to talk to them. But now that we're in the new normal, it's a video call. We see how you are dressed, we see your mannerisms and all that, and that contributes to helping us to make a decision. So that's another area that can negatively also affect the way we do things. Now, to your other question as to how to balance the work and life, or work and family matters and all that, is that you should be able to work within schedules, or you should be able to create a schedule for yourself, and you should be able to work within that schedule. So even though you're working from home, you can let the people around you know that from 8 o'clock to 4 p.m. you are engaged in office work. The only time you have for break and conversation is, let's say, lunch time, where you have some time to engage with your family and with your friends and all that. But you should have it at the back of your mind that even though you're working from home, you should be disciplined to be able to let the people around you know the times or your work schedule and know when they can connect to you. The other thing too is that a lot of us, because we're working from home, are not just working from home, but we are working from bed. So we are almost all the time in bed with our laptops. And unfortunately, when you are in bed, you can easily doze off and sleep, and you may miss out on a lot of other things in terms of productivity and your ability to get work done. So I think that even though you're working from home, try and get a place where you can actually sit with your laptop or with your computer and actually sit down with the notion that you're actually going to work, rather than sitting in the hall and watching TV and also working at the same time. Of course, your productivity will be affected. Your time span or your attention span will also be negatively affected. So I think that you need to put all these things into place as you look at working from home, so that at the end of the day, it doesn't negatively affect your family, it doesn't affect your loved ones, and most importantly, it doesn't affect your personal growth and your development as well. So this is what I will say for now. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so we still don't have any questions coming in.
I think I see Grace raised hand. So maybe she wants to ask a question.
Okay.
Please, Sakia, thank you for your brilliant presentation. Please, I want to know what are some of the personal development goals you can incorporate into your daily activities? Aside just your work, I mean, the work you do, what are some of the the goals you can incorporate into your daily activities? Maybe you can use your daily routine as an example. So let me know more. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that very wonderful question. And it's a very practical thing, because you see, most of the time when we talk about personal development, people only think about professional development, that is your work and your career, and maybe educational, your schooling and all that. But you see, personal development goes beyond all those things. Your everyday life is also a part of, or you need to also add value to every other aspect of your life. Okay, so for example, you need to pay attention to the way you dress, the way your outward appearance. These are things that you can work on a daily basis. So how do I appear more presentable? What do I need to do to appear more presentable? What is my sense of fashion? What is my sense of style? On a daily basis, you move out and you engage with people and all that. One thing people are looking at is the way you dress or the way you appear. So how do I handle my appearance? How do I improve the way I present myself to people? These are things that should be on top of your mind. The other thing too is your talking, your communication skill. Whether it is work related or school related, you are constantly talking to people on the phone, talking to people on WhatsApp, talking to people in person. So on a daily basis, ask yourself, how can I improve my communication skills? How can I listen more attentively? There are some people, when you're talking to them, they're not even paying attention to what you're saying. So after you have spoken about 5 minutes, they ask, what did you say? Can you say that again? So I think that on a daily basis, you can, for example, ask yourself, how do I improve my communication skills? You can also take it upon yourself that on a daily basis, you're going to improve your relationships with other people. How do you relate to other people? How do you get along with other people? When you sit, for example, in the trotro in Ghana, for example, how do you relate to people in the trotro? How do you even talk to people in the trotro? When you are in a queue to buy food, how do you talk to the person who sells food? You know, personal development is about becoming a better person. So anything and everything that will help you to become a better person, it falls under personal development. So that should be of key concern to you. Even your house chores, how can you clean your house better? How can you sweep better? How can you be more productive at the things you do? If you know how to cook, how do you improve your cooking skills? You know, your washing skills, your driving skills. So many other things comes into play whenever we talk about personal development. We should not just limit personal development only to professional development or career development or educational development. Every other aspect of our life is important, and we should spend some time and look at how we can improve ourselves and overall become better people. I trust your question has been answered. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So are there any other questions? Are there any other questions? Any last questions that you would want to ask? You can drop it. If not, we'll round up shortly. So I've dropped the link, the Facebook and LinkedIn page of Mr. John Appiah that you can connect with him there, and also his email in case you want to reach out to him afterwards. So any other question? Anyone has any question? If not, we will round up shortly. Yes, so whilst we wait for questions, I just want to say thank you so much, Mr. Appiah, for sharing this great insights with us, for even wanting to come on our platform. We appreciate you, and it has been a good one. It has been a great, I was just here jotting some few points down, and thank you so much once again for wanting to be part of this session. We appreciate you, and thank you to all who joined as well. We appreciate you as well. Elizabeth, please, do you have any other things to say?
Oh, I think I'm also good to go. I was hoping that a lot of people would ask a lot of questions because the year is ending and they will start working towards resolutions. But I can assume that everybody is fine for now or so far.
I'm pretty sure probably they want to reach out through the
Personally, I
email.
know,
Yes.
right?
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all so much. So we'll say, Mr. John Appiah, please, are there any last words for everyone so that we sign out?
Yes. So I need to thank you, Rahel. Thank you to your team as well for putting this together. I am someone who's not always motivated by the numbers. You can have a Zoom call and get about 100 people on the Zoom call, but I can bet you out of the 100, only 10% are really paying attention to what it is that you're saying. So even though we're not able to get a lot of numbers, I trust that everybody that listened attentively to the presentation may have picked up some few things that will help him or her to become a better person. The last thing I'll talk about, or I'll say to all of us, is that, look, ladies and gentlemen, let us invest in ourselves. Let us place value on ourselves. Let us improve ourselves. That is the only way we are assured of progress and advancement. If you leave your life in the hands of just the politicians, if you leave your hands in the life of just the government, if you leave your hands or your life in the hands of the people you work for or you work with, there's very little that they can do for you, but there is so much more you can do for yourself. Today, you may be a nobody at all, but I can bet you, if you're able to work hard on yourself, if you're able to invest on personal development, if you're able to add value to yourself, it is just a matter of time and your level of significance will rise. And once your level of significance rises, you realize that then you're able to get the kind of attention you want, you're able to get the kind of resources you want, and therefore you are able to do more. So I want to encourage all of you. Don't look down on yourself. Don't abandon yourself. Don't think that there is nothing good that can come out of you. Once you are determined from today that you're going to do something every day to add value to yourself. You're going to listen to a podcast. You're going to listen to something on YouTube. You're going to read something. You're going to learn from another person. You're going to engage with a mentor. You're going to read from a book. You're going to research. You're going to ask the right questions. Look, as you do this consistently over a period of time, you improve yourself. You become a better person. Your value shoots up. Maybe in your present workplace, you are paid just about 100 cedis a day or 100 cedis a month. But you see, you will continue to stay at that level until you decide to add value to yourself and improve what it is you are doing. If you don't improve yourself, if you don't add value to yourself, you will still be treated like you are treated today. But if you want people to respect you more, if you want your salary to shoot up, if you want people to pay more attention to you, the only key I will advise you to take is that please add value to yourself. Invest in personal development. You may not have money to go and pay for a class in Gimpa or the University of Ghana or Harvard, but you can read online. You can engage yourself in such engagements like this. Be on podcasts like this, join Zoom calls like this, and other things that will help you to become a better person. And I really look forward to seeing all of you at the top, because indeed there is so much space at the top. Thank you all, and I wish you the very best of the rest of 2020 and an exciting and productive 2021. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. These last words are everything for our next level. Thank you so much once again, and we appreciate you all for joining. So catch you same time next week, 6 p.m., Sunday, 6 p.m. Thank you all for joining, and I will share the link to our WhatsApp group in case you are not on the WhatsApp group, so that you can join and you don't miss any of our sessions. Thank you all so much.
All right. Good night. Thank you.
Good night, boss. So I've shared the WhatsApp link in the chat section. In case you are not on the group, you can join in. Thank you all so much, and see you same time next week. Have a blessed week.